Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm sure everybody has seen the news now that Discovery is shutting down production on a bunch of the shows that were on Motor Trend, like Roadkill, Roadkill Garage, Hot Rod Garage, among others. The biggest one for me is Roadkill. That sucks because I've watched them from the beginning. I've watched them forever. I've watched every episode of every season, and I've watched a bunch of the stuff that Freiberger and Finnegan both do, like on their own channels and stuff, so that was a bummer. And I already had this video recorded and edited and ready to go, and I'm adding this in because while I was on that trip, I was just thinking about like early Roadkills and stuff when they just were like two dudes and some cameras, and that's kind of like what I was. I'm just a guy with a camera, just trying to make it, doing what I think, stuff that I think's cool. And so this is going to kind of act as my tribute to Roadkill. And just say thanks for all the entertainment throughout the years to those guys. Finnegan and Freiberger are my two favorite creators in the automotive world, and I watch a lot of their stuff. And so this is just kind of my tribute to the last 13 years of Roadkill, and hopefully y'all enjoy this as much as I did. What is up, everyone? As you can see, it's a wonderful day here at Trailer Trash Racing Studios, and I've got something I want to show you guys. And I kind of posted a teaser about this, a little bit of a Photoshop photo, something that I've wanted for a long time. I was finally able to make that dream come true, sort of. It's not as nice as what I wanted, but it's definitely our style. So without further ado, this is a 1974, more commonly referred to as a dent side Ford F100 with a service utility bed, whatever you want to call it. And she's super cool. She's got some rust. As you can see, we've got some rust in the cab corner, bottom of the door, a little bit on the bottom of the fender. Come to this side, this is where the worst of it is. It's got a big rust spot here in the fender, and then a pretty good spot in the door. Same thing on this side, cab corners, rockers. The door to this box is right here in the bed. Yeah, I don't know, she's super cool. I've got a bunch of stuff I want to do to it to make it my own style, but today what we're going to be doing is getting this thing ready for a road trip. She runs and drives awesome. She's a great running vehicle. She's carbureted. She's either a 360 or a 390. I don't know Ford motors, and I don't know if there's a way you can tell the difference. I think it was a factory 360 truck, maybe. I don't really know. I guess the hood pop's not in there. It is a Ranger trim package. Everything works. The blower motor and everything works. The heater doesn't get warm, so I'll kind of show you why I'm thinking on that. Let's pop the hood and let you take a look. Here she is. So on the heater core, you've got these hoses. Well, that hose is open. We just may not have let it run and get warm enough the other day. But anyways, you can see it used to say 360. Somebody wrote the 9 in to make it a 390 with her marker. But she really does like run really good. She's a little cold natured. It takes her a minute to start on the first startup. Also, the gear shift handle always falls. There we go. Got her started up. Radio works. Oh, she's cold. She is cold. But I've driven this thing around quite a bit. She's gonna die. Yep, she died. Let's try this again. Set this up here. Know how much you people like whenever people rev stuff as soon as it starts. So there was that.
She runs really good. I've driven her around quite a bit, but what we're doing different about this one is I'm going to take some stuff down to Texas, some vehicles. This is gonna die again. So I bought an adapter to adapt my trailer plug to my trailer. I'm going to load my Blazer, the 75 Blazer, onto the trailer. And then hook that behind this, and I'm gonna road trip it down to Texas. It's about a 9-hour trip. So today we're gonna go get the Blazer ready to make the trip. I gotta put the front end back on it, load some stuff in it that I wanna take, and then we'll come back, we'll get the trailer, we'll take it back down there, we'll get the Blazer loaded, and then we will kind of go through this, maybe do an oil change, check the oil, make sure all our fluids are good, figure out what tools I wanna take just in case we have trouble on the trip. And we'll get everything ready, and then hopefully road trip down and get everything dropped off, no problem. She runs good, guys. This thing, like, super, I mean, it's not loud. It's got great power steering mixed with the big steering wheel, so this thing like steers super good. I really like it. It's cold natured. It takes forever to cool off, I mean to warm up, so it's like, I guess the radiator and the cooling system and stuff is like either super efficient or just oversized, and it really does do good. This is a Ranger XLT trim package on an F100, but super cool truck. I've wanted a service truck for a long time. I want to slam it or airbag it or something, do something super low with some Detroit steel smoothies, like 20x8s or 20x9s, and just make a super cool shop truck with my logo on the doors and stuff, and then maybe make Evan drive it for her first vehicle. She's not really down with it. She would be cool with it if it wasn't lowered. She does not like lowered vehicles. Now, also, another tricky part about this is allegedly we're going to be driving with no plates, but I did just get it. I'm taking it back home to Texas to drop off along with the Blazer, and I have the titles in my possession of both. So I'm hoping. Oh, is that a Corvair? That's not a Corvair. It is a Corvair. Is it? I think it is. I don't know. Is it? Is that a Corvair? Pretty sure that's a Corvair. That's super cool. Almost crashed. I'm hoping I can just get away with driving, and if I get pulled over, just tell them, okay, I just bought them, here's the titles, just trying to get them back home. Another problem with that is that I have to take tollways to get home. So I don't know how lenient they are, because there's no way that they'll be able to bill me for that toll. So we'll see. I'm gonna risk it. If I get a ticket, I get a ticket. I hope I don't, but if I do, I do. It is what it is. There is a noise, metal on metal. The guy I got it from said he thought it was a suspension noise. I don't think it is. I think it is the exhaust hitting the transmission cross member, because it's definitely touching, and I'm sure when we hit bumps it bounces and hits. So still got to sort through that, see if I can fix that this week too. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's what we're working on. And we made it, everybody. This is my 1975 Chevrolet Blazer. It is on airbags with 2.5-inch drop spindles in the front, and then on the back it's on a 4-link with airbags. It's got a fresh 6-liter LS motor with a Summit, I don't know the exact part number. I'll stick it in the description if I remember. Camshaft, I've got some 243 heads that I'm doing the porting and stuff on myself and getting those worked and ready to go back together and stuff, but I'm wanting this to be my LS Fest 2025 build. I don't know that we'll get it done by then. I mean, we have time. That's 6 months, and we all know how fast I can get a vehicle ready. It's just having the money. So who knows? I'll get this thing pulled out and kind of give you a little bit better look, and then let y'all check us out as we're getting the front end and stuff put back on it. Here's the fenders. They're both in pretty good shape. Really kind of minimal rust on there. You can see up under here, I had to cut it to do the C-notch and stuff. But we've got the body mounted with new hardware and stuff now. So the hard part, in my opinion, is over with. Now it's just kind of like finishing it up. So, but for now, we're just gonna get it ready for a road trip back to Texas. I'm gonna get these fenders put on it, get the cord support put back in it, and get the hood on it. The hood won't be mounted. Don't imagine. I'll probably just have it ratchet strapped on, and then that way we can make a road trip with it, get it on the trailer. Let's see what else we need to load in here or take out of here. Looks a little more like a truck now. Now we just need to get this stuff sorted. What's staying, what's going where. And then we can get ready to move some stuff and get this thing moved out and loaded on the trailer. Alright, so when we finished off yesterday, we were loading up the Blazer, filling it with things that we need to take to Texas. It's a new day today, and we are going to get a top for the Blazer. Made a deal, so I'm gonna go get it, and then we're gonna bring it back and try to get it on the Blazer. I don't know if we'll get it on today or not, but we're supposed to be leaving tomorrow, so we need to try. We'll see. All right, so you'll see I didn't do a lot of recording as we were loading this because it was heavy, and I actually forgot the GoPro in the truck. But now we're recording. This isn't the nicest top in the world, and I knew that when I was coming to get it. It's got some spots, it needs a little work. So it's not the end of the world to me. You can see right here at the back, this spot, and then somebody had put lifting eyes in it to get that off. I'll get those out of it, and I'll close up those holes. If you just kind of look around it, you'll see there's other spots in the fiberglass work, but I don't have a top. This one was super cheap. So we went with this one. Now we'll get it thrown on. I also didn't record the trip up. It's a pretty boring trip. Wasn't really anything to look at. So I was just getting over here. It's like an hour and a half drive. We're about to get back. Probably won't record anything on the trip back either. But once we get there, I'll kind of show y'all trying to get this put on and whatever else we do. All right, we're back. We got to move the bus down the street over here, and then we got to move Red Rocket so that I can get my Blazer out, and then we'll get the trailer backed in, and once we get the trailer backed in, we'll get it loaded up and we'll get the top put on it, all that good stuff. So I don't know, enjoy the show, I guess. little bit better look at the Blazer. She's pretty rad. She kind of needs a little bit of everything. There's no interior. We got to rebuild the floor around that and then trim to put the new wheel wells and stuff in it. But she's super cool. She's on bags all 4 corners. I just got to get a manifold and some other stuff to finish that up. But she's gonna be a super sick ride. I just got to get her done. So we're about to get this thing strapped up and pull up and get the top loaded on it. So one more thing I'm gonna do is use my power probe, because it'll also work like a voltmeter test light situation. I'm gonna pull this out. I think I'm gonna take off without him. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Got the Blazer on the trailer behind the service truck. You can't see Zoe.
What?
Oh, she's over there. Zoe, reach over and wave.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
She's over there too. We're just making this little road trip down to Texas. We're gonna see our family, drop these 2 trucks off, and then we're gonna bring my mom's car back. So, I wish this truck had a little more braking power. It's not dangerous, it's just not as good as I'm used to. But I checked all the fluids. I've been watching the temp. Everything's good. It took a little bit of coolant, not much at all to top it off. It took a little bit of oil and a little bit of transmission fluid, but overall nothing really stood out. Nothing was empty. Power steering fluid was great. So we're hitting the road. We're about to merge on the highway for the first time. Wish us luck. Alright, so rookie move. I haven't been watching the gas gauge, and we're almost out. We got like 7 miles to the next gas station. We're gonna try to make it. We might be walking for some gas first thing, first leg. We're about an hour into our trip. I think we got enough to make it. Zoe's a little nervous.
Yeah.
Grace is a little nervous. We're gonna see what happens. If we run out, we'll let you know. All right, y'all. We made it to Topeka, Loves, and we just fueled up. Well, we got a little coolant puking out, not too bad, and it's already basically quit now, but she's doing pretty good, really. I've been kind of pushing her hard. We've been cruising about 70 to 75 the whole way, which is a little fast for a 3-speed truck. But everything's good. No straps have come loose. Haven't lost anything. Everything's all still tight, ready to go. It's got a small tank though, because she was completely empty according to the gauge. She only held 19 gallons. It's gonna make for a long trip, but we're making it. So, like I said, it's been puking out some coolant. It's not right now. We just bought some water. We're going to refill this bad boy and hit the road again. I would say it's a little toasty. I guess the radiator and the coolant system and stuff is like either super efficient or... The temperature never really got super hot, but it did get a little bit warm. As you can see, I've got the vent open and it is losing quite a bit, blowing off pressure. So I'm sure it is pretty warm. But yeah, I got a couple jugs of water. Get us on to the next place. Well, we're on the side of the road. It started getting hot. I guess the radiator and the cooling system and stuff is like either super efficient. I didn't want to push it too far. We're just past Oklahoma City though. We started getting a little warm, so I decided to stop and add some water. Woo. Yeah, it's hot. And it really does do good. So, gotta love traffic. We were doing good until we had to slow down for traffic again. Every time we would have to stop for traffic, it would get a little hotter, a little hotter, a little hotter, until it just got hotter than I wanted to wrist. So it doesn't have a temp gauge, it's just got hot and cold. And it says temp on there, and the H is like probably a 1/4 inch past the word temp, and we were on the P. We were in the middle of the P. So pretty warm, definitely pretty warm. It's hot. Yeah, you want to open that and get yourself as hot as possible. Just grab that wet rag with your bare hands and just really let it burn your hands. A half gallon. You can see it's still a little turbulent down in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's definitely still warm. So, hey, does this count as a breakdown?
Yes. No.
Grace says yes. Zoe says no.
Yes, it does.
We're just gonna kill some time. It's not like we can get anywhere right now, anyways. Camping country, and we're just gonna wait for the thing to cool down a little. I also think we might be running a little bit low on transmission fluid, because whenever you put it in gear, it's a little delayed. You got to kind of give it some gas, and then it's like it jumps in gear and goes. Usually that's because it's low, but who really knows? It could be the transmission going out on me. It's full right there. That's what it was. What it wanted for a second. Let's see what the temp is now. Sounds like she's running better. Sounds like she's happier. Oh yeah, she cooled all the way back down to normal running temp. So when we stop, we're gonna stop at a Love's again. We're gonna get some fuel. We're gonna get some snacks. I'm gonna get some more water. I really like this service bay with these boxes. Stick your stuff in there, carry on about your day. We're gonna try to make it to the left. Well, as you can see, right back there, we made it. Super dark when we got in last night. We made it about 9:30 p.m. So literally drove all day. Left about 11 and drove till about 9:30. So just trying to get finished up. The drive last night didn't really record too much. It was doing good. And I mean, I think the neighbors think I'm talking to them right now. I had the camera and I think they thought I was recording them. But we made it. Had one issue that I didn't realize we had until we got here. So I'll show you all that in just a minute. But the truck did really good. Like, it felt down on power when I was pulling in and kind of sounded like it had a miss. And as you saw in the video, I had to stop a couple times and add coolant. Had to add a little bit of oil, things like that. But it was trying to rain. But truck did good. It got like 7 miles to the gallon, which is not bad. I know new trucks that don't get that when you're towing, especially when you're towing something kind of heavy. I don't know what we weighed, but it was pretty heavy. Now I'm going to show you the issue we had right before we got here. At some point right before we got here that I didn't notice until we got here was apparently, and it hasn't been like this long because the wheel's not messed up. So I think it happened just right outside of town. We lost a tire. You can see this shifted over and it was dragging on the tire and just wore that whole side out and just put a hole in it. And it also, you can see when we were turning, we were actually rubbing the door on that a little bit. This happened right before we got here though. This hasn't been like this long. You can see the rim has a little bit of marks on it, but not much. I think that happened like just as we were getting into town. It was making a bunch of noise. I didn't think nothing of it because all of the leaf spring bushings on this trailer are bad too. And that kind of makes a lot of noise. So I thought that was that driving through town. I had my windows down and stuff, but when I pulled up, my mom and dad were laughing. They were outside waiting on me and they were laughing. They were like, I think you have a flat. Sure enough, we walked out here and I had a flat. But the old truck did good. She was still running. She drove all the way here. I'm gonna see if she sounds any better this morning. Like, you know, I don't know, I've had some of these old cars that were like it's like they would get tired after driving a while and they would like act like they were down on power or something, or like, I don't know, just didn't drive as good. And I'm hoping that's all that happened. One thing I accidentally did, we were coming down a hill and I looked down. I was thinking, man, this is pretty sketchy. And I looked down and we were doing like 82. Didn't want to do that anymore. 65 to 70 range. It was pretty good. There was a few times we were clipping along about 73-ish. But the closer we got, it got to where going up a hill, you can only get up to like 60. And then coming down a hill, you can only get up to like 70. So it was definitely losing power. But it's an old truck. It's a 50-year-old truck. It's a 74. It says it's 50th year on this planet. And I just made a 600-ish mile road trip in it while towing, probably with the trailer and the truck and everything. It's probably 6,000 pounds. Kind of missing, not running perfectly, but she always kind of does that. Usually I gotta let it get warmed up before it'll straighten up and get right. So I'll let it run for 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so, and see if it straightens up. If not, we'll just start looking and seeing about getting some stuff to do what we always do to this. I've actually kind of got everything to do it, and it has crossed my mind, make this a little bit longer project and get this one done with an LS, and maybe put it in the burnout competition at LS Fest, but I don't know if I'll do that or not. Boy, she is missing hard. I don't know, that's weird. She might have burned a plug wire in half. So I don't know, I guess I'm gonna let it run for a little bit and then I'm gonna get it back in. How fast that car was driving in town. Uh-oh. That might be a knock. That engine might be knocking. It's got a pretty loud noise going on. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this thing backed in with it running like that. and then we'll see where we stand. Found all the oil from the truck. I noticed when I got out one place, the bottom of the box was wet and it had oil on the trailer. And so that's why I started checking the fluids periodically, because I was like, oh, if that's the case, it's got to be losing something. So I started checking. Sure enough, I added some oil to it. So I will tell you this, it's not a huge deal for me to have to put a different engine in this. I liked that it ran, and when I first drove it, I was like, man, I love that this thing runs and stuff just works. Like the heater works, the radio works, the windshield wipers, everything works. So I was super excited about that. But after I drove it a little bit, I was like, dang, this motor's kind of gutless. The odometer showed like 81,000, but the interior is very worn. So I'm assuming it was 281,000, because like the seat has a massive hole in it where somebody's been riding. The brake pedal cover is gone. It might just be 181,000 because the gas pedal's not in awful shape and the carpet's not in awful shape, but it's definitely not 81,000. So my feelings really aren't hurt that I got to put something else in here. I don't know what it'll be. I thought once about pulling this 6.0 out of this, making this a longer project, and putting that in that, and taking that to LS Fest, because I'll just be honest, these Blazers, these square bodies, there's about 100 of them that go to LS Fest. These Fords like this, I may have only seen one ever. And service trucks, I've never seen one at LS Fest. So may just do that, I don't know. You know, I like to do like unique stuff. It's kind of how the van came along. I've never seen anybody mid-engine LS swap one of those. Anyways, I've never seen one of these at LS Fest, except maybe just a regular short bed pickup. I don't know. I think it'd be super cool, have this thing about 2 inches off the ground and have that LS in it with some sort of automatic turbo 400 or something, and just make it, it's got a 9-inch in it, so just make it where it'll haze the tires. And we'll take that bad boy to LS Fest, maybe put it in the burnout competition. You know, I've always just done the show, never done actual competition there, so maybe do that. I don't know, figure something out, but that's where we're at. Well, we went to the parts house and got the goods, so we're just gonna put it all in, make all the oil pressure. Boy howdy, if it's knocking, it ought to be quieter. My feelings aren't hurt. This truck, I really didn't expect to survive the trip down. It is what it is. We'll put something else in it. Somebody's got a 460 over here, but I've got LS's, so we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a nice bright new morning. You can see it's not cloudy, it's super sunny. We're gonna take this old girl over to my boy Philip's house. I drove it yesterday evening and it sounded a lot better. Like maybe it's not torn up. So I'm gonna drive this over there and see what happens. Back here in Kansas. We ended up filling up the cards on my camera and I didn't have any more, and nothing really happened that was of any significant value. for the video, but the noise went away and the truck runs as well now as it did when we left. I'm assuming that's because it's making a lot better oil pressure now since we added the Lucas in it and stuff. I still don't know really what we're gonna do. While I was down there, I made a deal on another car, and there's a video coming about it too. It's a 60-year-old car, and pretty excited about it. We're definitely gonna do something with the F100. I'm super excited about that truck. I definitely want to do something to it to make it cooler, kind of make it my own style, make it my own thing, and make it where it's something that we actually enjoy getting out and ripping around. Stick around, show us some love, and we will see you guys down the road.